What do you have coming up? So you're not touring.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I am working on some new music, and it's really interesting because I thought to myself, okay, do I want to make, because Elephant in the Room came out last year. So this would be right about the time where I'm thinking, okay, am I going to make another record? And, who's going to do it with me, and what are the songs going to be? But as I look at the landscape, speaking of looking at the landscape, people don't buy full albums anymore. You go on and you see, oh, Beyonce has a new album out, and you go to iTunes and you listen to the bits of the songs and you buy the 5 that you think you kind of like based on the sample, right? That doesn't mean that it didn't cost Beyonce the same amount of money to produce the 10 songs that she's got on her record, even though you're buying 5 of them, right? So it's this enormous upfront capital investment that you're just not getting back. We aren't in the same way anymore. So then I had this idea, well, maybe I might do an experiment. And I haven't decided officially yet if I'm going to do this. I have to see how the business of it would play out. But the idea is, instead of releasing a whole album, all 10 or 12 songs at once and then touring with it, do something called the Singles Project and release a song a month for a year. And at the end of that, then you have 12 songs, and at the end of the year, I could package them together and people could buy all of them if they wanted. But release a song a month and publicize it via all the social networks, this month's song, and do kind of a subscription thing. So, if you subscribe, then you get the song. I don't know exactly how it would work, but that's an idea that I'm toying with as a way to kind of try something new in this kind of landscape and see if it would work. And of course, yeah, I'd have to go tour and everything, but that's fun. Just not for 150 days a year.
That sounds like a really great project. I also wanted to ask you about your music videos because, well, first of all, I wanted to mention, you mentioned the hook earlier, and I really think that you have that, listening to your songs, there's a really distinct color to them, and there's a distinct sound to them that I think is very clearly you.
Thank you.
So I think that's really cool, and I think your videos are also very much like that. Can you talk about how you go about deciding how to creatively plan the video, and are you part of that process? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like for the Let It Go music video, I look and I see, okay, well, what resources do I have? And one of my very close friends from college, she's a dancer and an aerialist. And I went to see a show that she did, which had all of these girls on silks dangling from the ceiling, doing these amazing acrobatic aerial works. And I just kind of filed that away in the back of my head. And then when I was thinking about, well, what do I want to do for this music video? I don't have $100,000 budget to do it. So what do I have? Who's in my life? What things are cool that maybe we could put something together? And I was like, oh, Carrie and the Aerialists, And so I called my friend Carrie and the woman who choreographed for their thing. Her name is Kati. And we put our heads together, and I brought in a director friend of mine, Jeff Wadlow. And Carrie and Jeff and Kati and we all brainstormed how we could incorporate the Aerialists into this idea of the Let It Go music video. And so we decided upon this idea of them being kind of an alter ego or kind of alter consciousness. So the scenario is I come home and, we kind of concocted this whole thing where, okay, so she comes home and she's had kind of a bad date and maybe she's done the walk of shame and it's early in the morning and she's angry with herself, that she's kind of got herself into this situation and she can't just let it go. And these, aerialists just descend from the sky and start kind of reminding her about how she's feeling. They're handing her kind of things that, from outside of the frame, and they're, swinging back and forth in the frame. And on the one hand, it's kind of a cool idea just visually, and those girls are such amazing acrobats. It's so difficult to do what they do. So it's really cool to watch it just from a visual point of view. And I didn't want to be like up singing and dancing all around in my video. I wanted the focus to be more on the music. So it serves that purpose too, in that, I'm in it, but it's more an ambiance of feeling that the Aerialists kind of helped to convey. So we shot it in one day, and it was just a 2-camera shoot, no special effects. Everything you see there, really happened. And then it was, edited together in a couple days, and it's it's really difficult to come up with an idea for a music video because you don't want to be cheesy and just basically act out the song. At least I think that's cheesy, acting out the scenario of the whole song. Then it doesn't leave anything to the imagination of the person listening to it, you know? But without a gigantic budget, you have to be really creative about what you can do. So the best advice that anybody ever gave me on that was just like, you have a lot of resources. Use what you have. Like if you put your mind to it, you will find people in your life and who, you know, can create and do really cool things. And it may not be what your initial concept was. Like I never really thought of having aerialists in my video, you know, but then it can actually create something really cool. And you haven't spent $100,000, you know?
Well, it sounds like everything you do is really a masterful ability to take your resources and maximize them, and you've been doing so well, and that's so exciting. We can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you.
And I hope that your 12-month, you know.
I will let you guys know. I will let you know for sure.
Absolutely. Well, good luck to you. Thank you so much for taking your time to talk to us today.
You're welcome.